Water Board meeting for October 16th to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Troxel.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Councilman Rob Getzloff.
Present.
Councilwoman Robin Arvanitis.
Here.
Councilman Kevin Conley.
Present.
Councilman Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson is here.
Councilman Thomas Schmidt.
Here.
Attorney David Austin.
Present.
Fire Chief Robert Patterson.
Here.
Deputy Fire Chief David Meyer.
Here.
Police Chief Pete Sormas.
Here.
Deputy Police Chief Steve McNamara. Here. Park Superintendent John Novosich.
Here.
IT Robbie Hansen.
Here.
Police Engineering Neil Simstat.
Here.
Public Works Director Chad Nondorf.
Here.
Director of Operations Andy Hansen.
Here.
Recording Secretary Robin Teal.
Present.
And Clerk Treasurer Michael Troxel here.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel. The Water Board consists of three members, myself, Councilwoman Robin Arvanitis, and Councilman Kevin Conley. So at this time, just for this meeting, we will remove Councilman Tom Schmidt's name from the roll call and Councilman Caleb Johnson. Minutes of the September 11, 2024 public meeting. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries 3-0. Any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0. Andy, any reports from staff?
No reports.
Okay. Any reports from water board members? Okay, hearing none. There is no old business, so we will go under new business. Resolution 2024-4 is a resolution to transfer funds within a category of appropriations. Mr. Troxel?
Yes, Mr. Getzloff. This is from our water operating and maintenance fund. Periodically, we ask our department heads to review their budgets going into the last quarter of the year and ask them to foresee any type of transfers they may need. All of these are coming out of the capital line items for water O&M into various funds in their budget. So these are no new dollars. They're just realigning the dollars in their budget.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Troxel. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve Resolution 2024-4.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries 3-0. At this time, we'll take any business from the floor regarding waterworks. Any business from the floor regarding waterworks? Any business from the floor regarding waterworks? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. We'll now move into redevelopment.
Call to order the Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. The time is 6:35 p.m. For the roll call, the Redevelopment Commission consists of the entire council, so we'll add council members Tom Schmidt and Caleb Johnson, and also our advisor from the Lake Central School Board, Nicole Kelly, is with us as well. Okay, minutes of the September 11th, 2024 public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Claims, any additional claims?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Motion to pay the claims?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Any reports from staff on redevelopment?
No reports.
Okay, council members?
None.
None.
Okay, we don't have any old business or new business. Any business from the floor regarding redevelopment? Any business from the floor regarding redevelopment? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Utility Board meeting for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024 at 6:36 p.m. The roll call remains the same as the previous meeting of the Redevelopment Board. First on the agenda would be the minutes of the September 11th, 2024 public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda, we have claims. Mr. Troxler, are there any additional claims?
No additional claims, Madam President.
Thank you.
So move on claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Claims are approved 5-0. Next on the agenda, we have reports regarding the utility board meeting. Are there any staff reports?
No reports.
Are there any council reports regarding the utility board?
No.
We have no old business. We do have new business. Item A, Resolution 2024-12, a resolution to transfer funds within a category of appropriations.
Madam President, yes, this is similar to what was done in the previous meeting on the water. This is for the wastewater operating and maintenance, and again, we've asked our department heads to review their budgets for the last quarter, moving forward to see if they needed to move anything, and this is what they recommended us to do, so.
Thank you.
Motion to approve Resolution 2024-12.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda, we have item B, consider the acceptance and approval of amended and restated option and site lease agreement between the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, and CCATT LLC. This is WWTP cell tower lease.
Yes, this is a cell tower lease agreement that has been going on for the last 25 years. The lease was up, so this is a renegotiated contract with AT&T. It will go to $2,250 monthly with annual increases of 3%, and they also pay for the electrical usage. And this lease will expire in 2044.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Is there any business from the floor regarding the utility board? Any business from the floor? Seeing and hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
Good evening. I'd like to call the town council meeting for Wednesday, October 16th at approximately 6:38 PM. The members of the roll call is the same members of the past meeting on the utility board. First item on the agenda is the minutes from the September 11th public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item is claims. Any additional claims for the town council, Mr. President? Or Mr. Troxel, I mean?
Mr. President, no, there's no additional claims.
So moved. Pay the claims.
We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Reports. We'll start to the left. Mr. Hanson, any reports of IT?
Yes, just one report. We have had some complaints over time, and especially recently, about audio quality, and it's partly due to just people not thinking about speaking into the microphone. So I'd just like to remind all staff and council members to speak clearly into the microphone, not only so you can be heard in this room, but also to the people listening and watching remotely.
Thank you. Fire Chief?
Yes, I'd just like to report that for the month of September, the Schererville Fire Department responded to 270 EMS-related calls, 53 fire-related calls, for a total of 323 calls for the month of September. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Deputy Chief Dave Meyer?
No reports.
Police Chief Pete Stormas?
Just one item to report. October 31st is our town Halloween night, and the Halloween hours are between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., and then officers will be out and ensuring everybody's safety in the neighborhoods that night, too. So it's October 31st, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you, Chief. Deputy Chief Steve McMyer?
No reports.
Park Superintendent John Novosich?
No report.
Town Engineer Neil Simstead?
No reports, Mr. President.
Public Works Director?
Yes, I just want to say that leaf collection started last week on the south side of Route 30. On the north side, it'll alternate all the way up into Thanksgiving. We added a fourth leaf machine for this upcoming season, so we're hoping to get them picked up a little faster than we have in years past. That's all I have.
Thank you. Director of Operations Annie Hanson?
I don't have any reports, but Mr. Reardon's here if you'd like to have him come up and give a brief
Yes.
summary.
Mr. Reardon, please step up. This is a report on our Ileana project.
Thank you and good evening. Excuse me. Thank you and good evening. What I want to report, highlighting our recent activities, is the following. Number one, we continue working with American Structure Point, reviewing their proposal. We expect to have the edited final copy to town administration well in advance for the town council review and approval at the November meeting. Second, Americo, the firm under contract to work with us on environmental matters, completed their field work on site last week. The samples from their drilling are in the lab, and we expect those to be back on or about the 24th. A summary will be provided to us, the town, by November 1st, and we're expecting a final report to be issued November 8th. Last, we're in the process of drafting a preliminary site plan at Soil Solutions' request. Recall, Soil Solutions is the firm hired to assist us with wetland delineation on site. This preliminary site plan will accompany appropriate applications to IDEM, Indiana Department of Natural Resources, and Army Corps of Engineers, all geared toward a no objection letter from Army Corps so that we can do work necessary, ultimately deemed part of the project in that wetland area located the property's northwest corner. That concludes the report. I'll answer any questions that the council may have, or town administration.
Any questions for Mr. Reardon?
No, I look forward to seeing the agreement from American Structure Point.
Is the preliminary site plan, is that supposed to be a concept plan, or is that just a drawing of what we think is there?
I appreciate the question, Councilman. It is a simple plan, a simple drawing depicting what we think would be there. Those are great words.
What we think would be there,
Yeah,
or is there now?
So, given the list of items that we've discussed and that have percolated to the top, a simple drawing that would accompany the applications with the knowledge and understanding that it's not the final plan. Something that could allow the reviewers to envision what the project might look like.
Yeah. I thought that's what we were getting. Are we going to get that too?
Yes, yeah, yes. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any reports from council members?
Not this time.
Any reports from council members? I do have one thing I'd like to mention. And I know she'll be mad that I mentioned this, but I think that we should make note that our councilwoman, Robin Arvanitis, was recognized in the last couple of weeks by the Northwest Indiana Influential Women Association, and the Northwest Indiana Influential Women's Association recognized the most influential women in the Northwest Indiana at its annual awards banquet this last couple of weeks, and Robin won the top prize in the economics and government category of the up-and-coming award for the people that are up-and-coming in the women's economics and government category. So congratulations, Robin.
Thank you.
Any other reports from council members? We'll move right into the next item. Next item is public comments regarding agenda items. Is there any public comments regarding items on the agenda? No public comments. We'll move right into old business. Item A is ordinance number 2012 is adoption of the 2025 civil town budget on second reading. Mr. Troxel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, as you stated, this is ordinance number 2012, and this is a second public meeting held regarding our town municipal budget for 2025. During last month's public hearing of the notice to taxpayers, there were no oral remonstrations nor any written remonstrations received on our 2025 Schererville civil budget. So we're good to move forward with an adoption. The 2025 budget is figured with an increase of 4.25%. The Department of Local Government Finance has stated that the maximum growth levy factor will be about 4%. We expect some downward adjustments to this adopted budget. Total budget for all funds is $54,874,849. Excuse me, $54,874,849. I got it. Property tax rate is proposed is 0.5012%. After the adjustments that we expect that may happen, the property tax rate will be just under 0.50%, so 0.499 is what I'm guessing it will be with the adjustments. So this is a good budget, and it is sustainable. The motion I'm asking for this evening by one of the council members is to adopt ordinance 2012, the 2025 Schererville Civil Town Budget, and authorize the clerk treasurer to submit all documents through the Gateway portal for review, certification, and approval by the DLGF.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? No further, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Do we motion to adopt ordinance 2012?
That was actually what the motion was.
So we already approved
You did, you
previously.
only need 2 readings.
Okay.
So the motion was to adopt. Right, Mr. Austin?
That's what I heard.
Correct. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We'll move into new business, ordinance number 985K, an ordinance of the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, amending town ordinance number 9851 entitled, an ordinance amending town ordinance 985G entitled, an ordinance amending town ordinance number 985B pertaining to transport and ambulance service trauma police for the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, Metropolitan Fire Department Ambulance Service, repealing all ordinances and town code sections or portions thereof in conflict herewith and all matters related thereto. This is repealing all ordinances and town code sections or portions thereof in conflict herewith and all matters related thereto. Mr. Hanson?
This is just simply adding the new University of Chicago Hospital in Crown Point to the allowable areas that we can transport to. That's all this does.
Chief Patterson, do you have any comments?
No, that's exactly what it is. We're looking to be able to transport to that hospital that has been built in Crown Point, just off 109th and 65. It's just like a micro hospital for the University of Chicago, and it has been approved by our sponsoring doctor, Dr. Lombardi, from the Crown Point Hospital.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Austin?
Would the council consider, before adoption or action on this, changing in the 5th line of the title, the word policy for police, so that it's clear? Police is not the right word.
The written ordinance says policy, just the agenda says police.
No, mine says, oh, you're right, you're right. Mine says policy on,
I looked,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's
I
just a
was
typo
curious.
on here.
It's just a typo on the agenda, I believe.
that's all it is, it's for clarity's sake.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion with those changes.
Motion to approve ordinance 985K.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Now, motion to adopt ordinance 985K.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B is Resolution 2024-11, is a resolution to transfer funds within the category appropriations. Mr. Troxel?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Again, similar to what we did in the water and wastewater meetings, the general fund has a lot more other departments that are used. And again, these department heads went over their budgets, looking forward to the next 3 months and see what is needed to transfer into their funds. Again, these funds are all within their budgets, just moving them from certain line items to others to meet either current or future obligations.
Thank you.
Motion to approve Resolution 2024-11.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Item C is consider acceptance and approval of amended and restated option and site lease agreement between the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, and CCATT LLC, which is WWTP Cell Tower Lease, and this came from the Utility Board agenda. Mr. Hanson?
Yes, this is exactly the same agenda item from the utility board. Same thing, $2,250 monthly with annual increase of 3%. It's located at the wastewater treatment plant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item D is consider release of cash surety in the amount of $50,679.65 for the Falling Timber subdivision. Mr. Hanson?
Yeah, this is the developer of Doug and Steve Construction over there on Division Street. This would release the cash surety in the amount of $50,679.65 for the completed public improvements in the Falling Timber subdivision and implementing the 2-year maintenance bond.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Question, Mr. Hanson, our inspectors and staff have approved all of those?
Correct.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item E is consider acceptance of the LPA consulting contract between the town of Schererville and DLZ Indiana LLC in the not-to-exceed amount of $1,975,620 for construction, observation, and material testing services for the reconstruction of Kennedy Avenue from 900 feet south of existing Junction Avenue to 325 feet north of Oak Street, excluding the local tracks project improvement limits in the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana. Mr. Hanson?
So this is for the Kennedy Avenue project, Phase 2. This is roughly from Public Works to Oak Street. This agreement is for the inspection services, which includes having an inspector on site the entire time the construction is underway for this phase. They perform the material testing as needed. They review the shop drawings. They're also our on-site liaison and bring up any issues that may occur during the construction. DLZ was selected utilizing the NDOT selection process, and this was also approved by NDOT. Our recommendation is to approve this agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item F is consider acceptance of engineering services proposal from Nice Engineering in the amount not to exceed $75,350, and this is for the Central Fire Station Phase 1. Mr. Hanson?
Yes, this is for Nice Engineering to do preliminary engineering for the new central fire station located downtown here. We split it into 2 phases because we're still waiting for the soil borings. They actually just occurred today to figure out the exact location of where the building will go. So that will vary the Phase 2 of this because it will determine where utilities need to be located and things of that sort. So he'll communicate with CSK, who's the architect for the project. They'll do a plan of survey for the station and also the water tower sites, because that needs to be incorporated into one. And set all the property corners and things of that nature, review all the soil borings. He is here tonight if you have questions.
Thank you. I do have a question. Mr. Simstead, is some of that work already been done?
Very initial work has been done over the past couple years, but it's not in a manner that can be utilized to provide the documentation to CSK architects as they look to site the building in conjunction with the soil borings that are being done. Actually, the phase 2 of those soil borings just started this morning from some prior soil borings that have adjusted where the thought was of that fire station within that site that you have on Joliet Street.
And second question, do you know how long it'll take to complete those soil testing?
The soil testing, they should be done either today or tomorrow because they're moving Friday onto Burr Street to complete our soil borings there for the 2024-2 CCMG project. Some of those borings that they're moving to on Friday, the locates were not done, unfortunately. So by the end of tomorrow, they'll be done with the borings, and we would expect a analysis report within the next probably 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And they'll coordinate with CSK to site the building, and I'm sure they'll work with staff on the configuration of the building going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G is consider acceptance of donations for $2,073.22. Mr. Troxel, would you be able to read those for us?
Yes, Mr. President, I will be able to read them. Donations from accepted through September 30th, 2024. To the Town Hall Donation Fund, Tricia Wisniewski, Albanese Candy, in-kind donation $28. Jets Pizza, there was 20 pizzas and 4 orders of cheese bread, in-kind to the Town Hall, estimated value at $350. Healthy Blends, Akai samples were also in-kind to the Town Hall. That was a value of about $50. So total in-kind donations to the Town Hall were $428. Under the donation for animal control, there's quite a few here. All of them are in-kind. Mandy donated some pads valued at $20. Anonymous towels valued at $20. Anonymous dog food were given at about $150. Anonymous cat or kitten wet food value was about $50. Another anonymous donation of towels was $40. Debbie Herman donated dog food, value about $30. Anonymous kitten food was $18.72. Anonymous cat and kitten food, litter, dog food, milk, bones, was valued at $268.14. Another anonymous donation for cat food, about $70 value, and anonymous dog treats were donated, valued about $50. So $716.86 to our animal control area. Thank you for those. To the Canine Donation Fund, there was an in-kind donation from the Crossroads Animal Clinic, osteoarthritis bundle and Libria injection for Hawk was in-kind value of $105.50. Also from Crossroads Animal Clinic, yearly exam and shots for Dato, that value was $497.50 for a total value of $603 to our canine program. Mary Matthews also donated $100 in monetary donations to the canine donation, so a total of $703 for our canine friends. To the Police and Fire 911, Minuteman Press donated some 911 memorial programs, value of $79.36. Also, we received to the Police and Fire 911 was Henry and Cynthia Liza donated $25. Loretta Kushawa donated $25. So monetary were $50, and memorial donations were $120.36. To Project Lifesaver, we received a donation from Avila, $96 for Project Lifesaver. So a recap, total of in-kind donations was $1,827.22. Monetary donations were $246, again for the total of $2,073.22.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel. And we got a motion on the floor.
I seconded.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. At this time, we'll take business from the floor. Business from the floor. Please step up.
Yep.
Please step up and state your name and address.
My name is Sheila Majecki, 7419 Harvest Drive, Schererville. And I just wanted to say thank you to the council. We're grateful for everything you do and all of our staff, how great they are. We've had a couple things at my house. Someone tried to break in and the police responded so fast. My husband did get a gash in his head, but the criminals got caught and they really took care of business. And then later my son had a seizure and the response was tremendous. They took him right away to the hospital. We didn't even hang up the phone and they were there. And I just want to thank everybody that's involved with that. We really appreciate it. As a retired nurse, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate my neighborhood and my neighbors. I didn't want to live with a bunch of old people when we bought our house 7 years ago. And it's been wonderful because I've seen these young families and the fact that they're so dedicated to their kids, whether it's gymnastics or baseball or football. I just enjoy the heck out of it. It's wonderful. But now I got this neighbor behind me who, he donates so much time to baseball. I see him working really hard, and he's got his sump pump running 24/7. 24/7. 24 years ago when the house was built, the grass was cut. There was a little bit of a wetland, I believe it's called, but the grass was cut, just like the north end of Harvest Drive, the grass is cut. There is a little wetlands in there, and everything was fine. His sump pump didn't run 24/7. Now it does. And it's overgrown, and I appreciate that she had tried to fix that, but he clearly didn't have the right tool for the right job. If the truck is getting stuck because it's so wet, it's been so ignored for so many years, it's time to step up and take care of business. I understand about wetlands, you can't touch that, but easement is definitely something we can look at. And I'm glad that I'm part of a town that has a can-do attitude, and we won't quit, and we'll take care of it somehow, some way, and that's my public comment. Chad, I look forward to working with you. I look forward to seeing my neighbor get a good night's sleep that's so busy with baseball, and my other neighbor with the cheerleading and the football. I mean, they're really fantastic families, and I want to keep them. You know, I've enjoyed them, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other business from the floor?
Hello, good evening. My name is Regan Hine. I'm the homeowner on the 1800 block of Burgundy Street in Schererville. I'm here tonight to ask the town council to assist me in stopping a fellow neighbor on the 1900 block of Burgundy Street from feeding stray animals. These animals are fed daily by a resident. The number of feral cats and raccoons and possums that gather each evening has grown to well over 20. As a single mother of 2 small children, we have almost become hostages in our own home at sunset due to all the animals gathering. On multiple occasions, I've begun to take my toddlers out for a walk or bike ride and was stopped from even getting out of our driveway due to the number of raccoons running around. In more than one instant, a raccoon came towards my daughter and was showing no fear of humans. I'm fearful it is just a matter of time before we end up in the emergency room from an animal bite or worse, an attack. I have taken numerous steps to try to prevent this resident from feeding wild animals to no avail. I left a nice letter on her door explaining the harm the animals can cause to my children, along with the disease the feral cats cause while defecating in the landscape. I have appeared before the HOA board at Oak Manor with no solution nor assistance. I have contacted Schererville Animal Control and was informed there is no ordinance regarding feeding feral animals and wild animals. I understand some years back, the town had a similar issue with a resident feeding wild turkeys and sent a letter to the resident that they cannot feed the wild animals for numerous reasons. I am asking the board tonight to allow me the same courtesy and send a letter to the resident regarding the dangers of feeding feral cats and wild animals. Thank you.
Thank you. I would recommend you having a conversation with our police chief after the meeting. Our police chief is in charge of animal control and see if there's something that he can do there.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other business from the floor?
Kevin Dean, 1905 Sir Richard Road in Schererville. I'd like to thank the town council for showing restraint in donating our tax dollars to other causes, the causes that the taxes are taken from. There is something that I am concerned about. I was driving my car a couple of weeks ago with around 7:15 on a Saturday, and I heard an item on 78 of a problem in Schererville of transients of some nature. I called the Schererville town, got no response back from them, but then there was that lady who got stabbed down in Lowell by an immigrant, from what I understand, possibly a Venezuelan. That's the information I've been given. I'm hearing that there's some communities around the Schererville area that are looking at passing some ordinances, and I'm just concerned, is Schererville part of this group, or are we looking into anything to work with the rest of the communities around us? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? Well, welcome, Kathy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for letting us come before you tonight. And I have with me Bob Carnegie. I know you all know him. He's the past two-time state commander of DAV. We are just coming before you tonight just to tell you thank you so much for the town's support and the support and help that we have gotten from Jim Gorman and Andy Hansen and Chief Sormaz as far as conducting the DAV walks. So we just wanted to say thank you. It is making a difference. I know for sure that last year there was somebody that actually came to the walk, was not aware that he was entitled to any VA benefits, and connected with DAV, who is a liaison and works with them to file claims with the VA. And he is now receiving $3,000 a month in benefits that he was entitled to. So that's life-changing. And this year, which is an interesting story, I received an email at my, actually through the website, someone contacted my office asking me for assistance to get him connected to a DAV service officer. And it was the week after our walk, and he had asked if I could get him his name and refer it to DAV. And so I did that right away, and Bob Carnegie contacted him. But I asked him if he had been to the walk, how did he find out to contact my office? And he said he lived in South Bend. So that was even more intriguing to me. And he said that his wife had met somebody who said that once a month a DAV representative goes to Plymouth and to talk to him. And so she did, and that gentleman had said, you want to be in contact with the DAV Chapter 17, and they have great service officers and contact, and he gave my name, and that's how he went through my website. And I don't say that for me, I say that for all of you, because if we didn't do this DAV walk, that, I'm that one constant that they know, oh, there's a name, there's a website that they can contact for this. But it's making a difference in people's lives. So I just want to say thank you. We so appreciate working with all of you. You are great, truly wonderful. And anyway, we have our next date for next year. We're planning on moving forward. And that will be August. I think we can have the 23rd down for 2025. And anyway, so it's the DAV this year raised over $4,000 in funds, and that helps provide financial assistance through DAV to those in our township or the local veterans and in our township. And then again, raise awareness, and people's lives are being changed. So thank you so much. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you again for the opportunity to say a few words about a couple of our activities that tie into what Kathy talked about. And Councilwoman Robin, I want to thank you and the award that you got, because last spring you held your second annual dinner for the veterans, and working together with the veteran community, I think it was a successful event, and I think that's the right thing for the communities to work with the veteran community so that we can participate with you and share our web of contacts to make things positive, and that's what we do when we do the walk. You work with the DAV, share information around the community, and I'm going to give you a quick story from today. I got 2 phone calls. Both of them were from someone in Griffith, close by. The first one, the guy had a neighbor who was 97 years old, and his wife is 96 years old. He's a World War II veteran. His chimney's falling down on his home. He's contacting us to see if we can't help him with that repair job for $2,200 on his chimney. That's something we do. Now, we will also work with others in the community to try to help with that, like Home Depot and other people, but we know them, partner with them, and bring them in to help that 97-year-old World War II veteran fix his roof. The other thing, the flip side of that, I got a call this afternoon from someone. I responded to the call. He was looking for somebody to come out, and he was wondering if the DAV could come out and help him install some components in his kitchen. He had done part of it, but he couldn't finish it himself, and he sounded to be elderly. I didn't ask him his age, and so he told me that he just needed some help. So that's fine. And he said, but you know, I could use some financial help. I said, oh, you're probably a pretty typical veteran. I said, what's your situation? He says, I have $40,000 in credit card debt. Do you think you guys could help me? I said, hold it. I said, there is a limit to what we can do, and we don't raise that much money at a DAV walk that we can walk around and help you with your credit card bills. I think those are your responsibility. So we get all kinds of crazy things. I wanted to just mention a couple words about something we're doing, and this is something that doesn't directly play into some of the things we talked about, but every year we have an event, and I think some of you have flyers like this, and the event is a tribute dinner. We're fortunate enough to have a relationship with the Hard Rock Casino. For one evening, they treat us like kings. Couldn't ask for a better partnership other than what we have with you guys, because here it's all year long. And that evening that we're there, we'll have a lot of displays and information about things that we do in the community and across the country, really. But there's 2 elements to what we're going to talk about that evening. One, we're going to thank the members of the whole Northwest Indiana community that participate in something called the Honor Flight. I don't know if you heard the Honor Flight, but it's an organization that's across the country that contacts Vietnam veterans, and the fact that when they came home from Vietnam, they didn't come home to any bands, they didn't come home to any waving flags, they came home to usually a very quiet welcome, and sometimes an anti-welcome in some situations. So this group has gotten together, and they will fly out of here, they fly out of Midway once a month during the good months, you know, the good weather months. They don't go during the winter. I was lucky enough to go last May. And so, good. 122 guys get on the airplane. That's what I had in my mind. When I got to the airport at 3:45 in the morning, there had to be 150 volunteers, some from Northwest Indiana, helping us get organized and get boarded on an airplane at 3:45 in the morning. The trip, I won't go into the details. We're going to go into the details the night of this event, but it was absolutely spectacular and very moving. And it was a chance to say goodbye to some of your friends that are up on the wall. And so we want to thank those volunteers that helped us from Northwest Indiana, and you'll be amazed at what they participated in during that time. And the last thing that could have the deepest effect on this community, the speaker for the last part of this is someone I contacted, I've known for about 20 years. And he's been working with the DAV down in Indianapolis for the last almost 12 months, developing a program that he calls DAV Connect. And so at the DAVs that we have here, which is in Hammond, Crown Point, and Valpo, we want to unite that group to create an environment to help out other veterans that may not have it so good. And we all have heard the stories if we haven't met those people. And those are the people that fall into the category of 22 a day, which are the suicides of veterans every day. And we want to catch those guys well before they get to that point. And so we want to create an atmosphere. We want to create an atmosphere of, come in, let's all work together. We're your buddies. We're just like you hung out in the barracks over in the Middle East, and you supported each other because you had nobody else to support you. Your family's not there, and you help each other. And we want to help those guys. Sometimes it may be a job. Sometimes it may be a home. Sometimes it may be the fact that they're thinking about the things that could create another statistic in the 22 a day. And in doing that in the neighborhoods like Northwest Indiana, like Chapter 17 has, and these other communities that I talked about, we're trying to spread that around the whole state of Indiana. We've approached the legislature, and it's being funded by the state legislature to get this lifted off the ground. And you don't know who it is that could be one of those 22. And we take this extremely serious, that we want to get these young men and women together that have spent time in the Middle East, have been deployed under sometimes horrendous conditions. And when they come home, we want them to feel they've got a place to land softly. And that's what we're trying to create. That will be discussed on the second half of our program on February 17th at the Hard Rock Casino at 4 o'clock. Like I said, November. Thank you, November 17th. So we have information on that. You guys have information on that. But what we want to convey here is this: we want this to be a working relationship with the community. Because what we do is to help veterans, but we can't find them all. What we do helps those veterans that are suffering. Whether it's the guy who's got $40,000 in credit card debt, I can't help him, but I can point him to somebody who might be able to help. But, and then those veterans who are very quiet, we want to catch them long before they get too far. So that's what we're here. I personally want to thank you so much for what this community does to interact with the veteran community. Because if we have to do it alone, it's an impossible task. And there's no doubt about it when I see what happens at the DAV walk. We have the support of your trustee. We have the support of your town board. We have the support of your citizens of your community. And that's what it takes to help our veterans.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Is there any other business from the floor? No business from the floor. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you and have a good night.